Tiba da shijine, tkachini bashishin, artaga, erige shimabadona dot les, tkachini nishla, ada twitchini bashishin, ashin da shiche, nide, erige shijab, erige doshidona at Ada Benina, Shimabija, erige do ashin at Ada Harshin, Lashana bit like, I think he was, anyway, Ada Honagani Dashinale. What I said is that I go by Ty. My name is Ty Fierce Matiba. My mother's clan is of the red streaked people running into the water. Navajos have some like really poetic clan names. I don't know what it is, but yeah. And then I'm born from my father's clan, who is Bitterwater clan. Navajo introductions are so long is because like complex respect system, clan system, really like establishes who you want to talk to, who you get to know, who you can network with. There are things that I wish my community could just teach me directly, but it's all of those. It's like the substance abuse, the domestic violence, the years and years of intergenerational trauma and poverty that prevent you from actually having these like sincere, comfortable chit chat with like family members. And so I guess that's kind of the sad part. But then again, it's like a good experience to be able to travel and meet other natives who are still struggling and learning the same thing that you're learning.
Um, I'm Gusty. My we call it our like white given name is Augusta. But I do have to thank my mom for giving me the name. You know, love my mom. But my Lakota name is Kayuzamaniwi, which means long journey woman in our language, and it was gifted to me by my Hunka family. And when we talk about Hunka, it's like that's our adopted family. We take them in as our own, and I actually got the name before I ended up coming to Dartmouth or even kind of started thinking about college. I think I got it like age 13, 14, right about that time. And I think my sisters and I are the first ones in our family who are kind of starting to bring our traditions back home after missionaries and kind of like forced assimilation, especially on my family. My mother calls herself a recovering Christian. Um, and that's just kind of a term that's thrown around in Indian country, and we all understand what it means, you know, like our ways and our way of life and our language and everything was taken away from us, but now we're making it a point to like bring it back. We're making it a point to teach our children and everything.
My name is Bruce Dutu. I'm a member of the faculty in Native American Studies here at Dartmouth. I'm from the Homa tribe in Louisiana, right along the Gulf Coast. So I joined the faculty here in NAS in 2008. My area of expertise is law and policy as it relates to tribal nations. So when Dartmouth recommitted itself to its founding purpose to educate Native students in 1970, the first group of students, all men, because Dartmouth had not yet gone co-ed, arrived in the fall of 1970. There were 15 men from tribal communities around the country.
Dartmouth wouldn't exist if it wasn't. It's all predicated on Native education. So that's historical, but it's also real. It's materially real, even though Dartmouth lost its commitment for about 200 years, that it was established for the education of Native youths. My name is Vera Palmer, and I'm Tuscarora Scaruda of the Haudenosaunee or Iroquois Confederacy, and my home community is in what we call Canada, which is about an hour and a half southwest of Toronto, and it's called the Six Nations Reserve. I'm on faculty here in Native American Studies. I have been since 1999, so wow, when you guys were really, really young then, or even not here maybe. But I came here originally as a tribal mentor, and within about a year and a half or 2 years, perhaps it was, I was invited to join the faculty here.
Native American Studies Department, NAP, and even the NAD community. So I think they play the biggest role in just being here, simply by having that space in this time by the college. I know in the original charter it says like the assimilation of like pagan children, and I'm kind of like, ooh, they really hurt themselves. I know they use the brochure side of it, and they just kind of like put off pagan children with ellipses, and I'm like, they're just using us as a statistic and a brochure booster for their institution as a whole. But I mean, we have to let them in a way because we're still here and we have our voice and we can express that our concerns around that specific issue and be like, that's not all right. And we're still here and we can say that because we are here right now. We're not just a statistic.
Us being here automatically makes us more visible to the people who, Dartmouth claims it produces. It produces, CEOs for companies and everything. And so exposing those kinds of people to Native people and like us like being in this kind of space, very much makes us visible. And we can go out into the world after we're here and we're like, look at my Dartmouth degree. You have to listen to me. So we definitely very much use that. And like I said, we can go and now we can like talk on NPR, we can do documentaries, we can like represent ourselves in those kinds of things. And I think people are now starting to realize, yes, we are vastly different, and yes, we bring a lot of like important issues to the table.
Part of me feels sad that we have to still act and operate for the American gaze, that we need to still gain these white credentials to prove that we exist, even though it never had to be that way in the beginning. And part of me saddens me, but at the same time, it's like, cool, I'm actually learning something too.
The education here and expanding your way of talking about what is inherent to you in another way becomes the price of admission into those venues where a difference can be made. Once you set a value system, then that gets infused into institutions, into government, into policies that then affect human lives eventually, and certainly affect the earth. So I think that that using theory, using philosophy is extremely important to kind of trace that. Where did it come from? And then juxtaposing that with an indigenous way of knowing, an indigenous value system that says, no, we actually are relatives of everything that is. It's a way of thinking about things. So I don't want to kind of propose this notion that, indigenous people have been victimized by colonization. I don't think that's useful. What is useful is thinking of colonization and all of its aspects, all of its hierarchies, and how all of us, to an extent, one or another, have been conditioned to engage that, to take it as hegemonic, that's the way it is. What needs to be front and center and really kind of directing the conversation is the indigenous voice. What happens very often is it seems to be kind of a Western trope that oh yes, we'll take this information and we'll organize it, right? And we'll figure out how to manage it, what's important, and then it's back to the same old.
It really is an opportunity for all of us to not so much focus on the trying to proselytize or teach someone how to be Native. That's not the point of Native American studies. It's really teaching about the societies and their values, norms, and aspirations, and how those fit in or sometimes conflict with those of the broader society. And when there are those moments of congruence, how do we build on that? When there are those moments of tension, how do we deal with that? And I think those are issues that are of great interest to both our Native students and non-Native students.
It's always a very tense relationship, with the institution. I'm very proud of what has happened here at Dartmouth. I think we're certainly one of the best, if not the best, Native American Studies program in the country, and that's marvelous. I'm very proud to be part of that. But it's not perfect, and I would be really unfair to say it was, and that there are things to be worked out.
A huge majority of the United States still doesn't know that we are like here and are a thriving, living culture. And when they come to a high institution where it's supposed to be for the white elite, and then they see these natives here too. They're like, oh wait, that makes them have to redefine and like actually show that we're here, show some type of recognition, you know? And so they see us and we're doing something that they would have never thought as a dead Indian, having like big glasses and sitting in a math class for abstract algebra, for example.
Being present all the time just automatically makes people aware of our existence. You know, we're not the dead Indian, and so it's just kind of hard for people, I think, sometimes to kind of register that. And it's like, oh, well, you know, that question, do you live in a teepee? Like, you're not wearing a headdress, you don't wear buckskin, like, you know, that kind of stuff. And it's just like, no, we live in houses. We watch TV just like you. Like, my favorite TV show at the moment is like Hemlock Grove, like just those kinds of things. Like, yeah. So, you know, I think it's just we're human too, and it's just, we have a lot to share and we have a lot to contribute.
For me, I think one of the things that I like to celebrate about the work that we're doing is we're tapping in, or at least engaging with, the knowledge and traditions of those peoples who have persisted on this side of the world for thousands of years. The fact that they were able to persist through their own versions of climate change and intersocietal conflicts and so forth, learning governance practices, learning about the creative arts, learning about how to develop and sustain cultures, might have something to teach us about how to make our way. And so I would think that it behooves us to understand from the people who not only have been here before, but are still here, and how to make this place habitable for all of us. I think it's vital, I think it's crucial that we engage with that knowledge and we ignore it to our detriment.